good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to you all. So, as you can see, my name is Mufid Sulaiman Abubakar, and I'm here to give my presentation, Digital Divide, Understanding Challenges and Creating a Way Forward, that is organized by the ICT4AG 2024. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so these are the table of contents of the presentation. We start by giving a brief introduction, moving down to the digital farmer and analysis of mobile penetration in Nigeria. Of course, some of the presentation, especially the introduction part, will cover the sub-Saharan Africa, and then, so looking at how the population of Nigeria at least has captured a lot of almost like 40% or to get into 50% of the sub-Saharan African population. So I hope some case stories or challenges can easily give a very good presentation. So that's why I'm also narrowing down to Nigeria. Okay, and also we will also cover the existing digital divide in Nigeria, moving to harnessing the potential of human capital, highlighting the success stories from the field, leveraging digital technology, success story based on our working experience, that come directly from us, or from our friends, or from other stakeholders implementing digital agriculture in the country. Also looking ahead to look at the future opportunities, especially what the government is doing, harnessing the potential of the agriculture and the telecom, that's the digital literacy of its youth and the smallholder farmers at large, and also giving the recommendation. Okay. So coming to the introduction, as we all know that digital agriculture and marketing systems are rapidly changing globally, especially due to a lot of fundamental problems when it comes to sub-Saharan Africa. A lot of we are facing the challenges of climate change, inequalities. That is, yes, we have also inequalities, lack participation of the youth in the agricultural sectors, and then yes, a lot of that, and a lot of those things. Now, so we see as it was reported by the FAO and the International Telecommunication Unit that even the ICT can increase access to relevant information for smallholder on production, technology, finance, and marketing of farm produce. And then it was stipulated or even prospected that the region has a youthful demography with nearly 60% of the population under the age of 25. As we are going further, when highlighting this, that is yes, the demographic, the population of Nigeria segregated by ages, we will get to understand to see how the youths have at least the active ages, and they are the independent people, and they have at least contributed a lot in the agriculture and the agriculture. So definitely, if we are to at least leverage and utilize the power of digitization in the agricultural sector, so this is the people that we should target at the youth. Yes, also the youth. And based on the International Labour Organization, also until 2017, they also made their own projection. The agricultural sector employs an average of 54% of working population. So see how powerful agriculture it is in the sub-Saharan Africa, and even at coming down to the level of Nigeria. Okay, so now we're going to look at what is the digital farmer at large. That is based on the context of yes, based in the context of this presentation. So I want to give a brief introduction of what a digital farmer is, and then later, if we move on, we will see how the statistic of mobile penetration in Nigeria, in the internet users, or what have you. So as we all know that, if we can see that we say digital farming is the consistent application of the method of precision agriculture and smart farming, but what using information and communication technology to look at the whole valuation of the agriculture, right from the production aspect, that is looking at the input market and the output market, that is from the production aspect to the marketing of this agricultural produce. So as we see, yeah, in 2020, there were approximately 102 million mobile internet users in Nigeria. So this figure is projected to grow to 117.5 million by the end of 2027. Okay, So this is just a picture to tell you what a digital agriculture is. A digital farmer. A digital farmer simply is someone that applies digitization, that is apply the application of any digital or any information technology in his operation, right from the farm production to the marketing of the produce. So here is we are just going to give to understand the mobile penetration and digital farmers in Nigeria. So this will give us a chance to see how we are going to harness, to see how we are going to improve this sector. So I see the Nigerian population is projected as 215.87 million as of now. That is the total population of the country. So, and then the smartphone penetration, as Nigeria is one of the greatest country in Africa that has highest number of smartphone penetration. And it also has one of the biggest market of technology, yes, smartphone technology in the world of sub-Saharan Africa. So you can see that one of almost 39%, that is 143 million of the total population of 215.87 have access to smartphones in the country. Right, it's quite a good one. And then looking at the percentage of the smallholder farmers out of the 143 million, you see we have the 20% of this of the population are smallholder farmers, because agriculture in Nigeria provides 70% of the economy, that is, yes, of employment in the country. So now the digital farmer, as we define, we understand the context of who a digital farmer is. So you see, out of this 20%, only 6.77% of this 43.17 million are digital farmers. And then we see the total number of internet users, as we want to leverage fully on digitizing the economy. Definitely, think we have the number and we have the human capital to do that one. Okay, so now here we are just going to highlight the general that is the general challenges that we are facing in Nigeria so far as a digitization of the agricultural sector is concerned. So as the digital divide in Nigeria. So what is a digital divide from the beginning? Sorry, I see when we say a digital divide, it simply means that a certain population are having access to digital, they have access to any digital technology than the other sector. So what the other sector doesn't have access is what gives the divide. So this is simply some of the reasons why Nigeria has an existing digital divide. First, we have the limited infrastructure in rural areas. We have insufficient funding for agriculture, definitely. We have inadequate investment in research and development, especially in the public institutions of the country. We have low digital skills among farmers, especially the smallholder farmers that are residing in the far remote areas, that is in the rural areas. We also have unfavorable business environment for startup, especially the current situation that is going on in the country now. See that the fluctuation of the currency is not giving a favorable environment, invest or start any new business. This is also contributing to major challenge in the sector. We also have lack of alignment between the ICT and the agricultural policy. Of course, now the government is trying its possible best to see that create a lot of favorable environment to implement all this technology in the agricultural sector. Also have insufficient broadband access, especially in the remote areas and the rural areas. And we have low digital adoption across the agricultural value chain, because a majority of the people that are deeply engaged in the agricultural sector, mostly they are not youth. I have to say this. The youth are concentrated in specific value chain of the agriculture, but when it comes to production aspect, only production aspect of the business of the agriculture, majority I can say they are adults, but not the youth, because the youth, quite so some of them are running from agriculture, thinking that it's a labor intensive operation. And so we have the limited collaboration among stakeholders. Although now a lot of NGOs are in the country and they are trying their possible best to see how they are going to close this gap. We also have barriers to inclusivity in digital agriculture. So you see, despite the advancement in technology, majority of our smallholder farmers in Nigeria lack access to digital tools. Most of the people in the rural areas definitely doesn't have access to a very strong internet connection, of course, and then most of them doesn't have, even if they have smartphones, so they don't have access to all these digital platforms, because the digital platform is quite so it's not simplified to the level that our local farmers in the rural areas that are not literate enough to navigate through the platforms. So this is one of the major challenges also that we are facing. Also, so based on the recent survey of smallholder farmers in Nigeria that was that was reported by Anderson et al. In 2017 in one of his reports, you see, we found out that 77% of of the smallholder farmers use basic phones without internet. So you see, that's why I say initially that the majority, that most of the existing digital application or platforms are not like they are not locally adapted to the context of our smallholder farmers. And 8% have never used the internet for business, and 49% don't use cell phones or SMS for business. So you see, and this the digital divide exacerbate inequalities and limit opportunities for rural farmers. Quite sure, a limit opportunities for rural farmers. So you see, it is crucial to bridge this gap and ensure that all farmers can benefit from digital solution if we really want to transform the system adequately. So now we are trying to at least show some of the human capital in the agricultural sector in the country, or even in the population of the Nigeria at large. So you see here, we are just trying to see from where we are going to which category of people are we going to concentrate much if truly we want to transform the sector. So as we can see, the employment rate based on the International Labour Organization data that was reported in 2019, 34.97% of the total employment in Nigeria was in the agricultural sector. That is when we are looking at the male, that is the male aspect. And then for the female aspect, we have 23.57% of the female employment in Nigeria was in the agricultural sector. So this is just trying to tell us that 60 to 70% of the labor of the employment provided by in the countries comes from the agricultural sector. So, looking at the unemployment sector, you can see that 9% of the total labor force. There's an unemployment rate in Nigeria was around 9%. So if not for the agricultural sector that contributed like close to 60%, then we are generally going to say that the unemployment rate in the country is surging to almost 70 to 80%, which is not a good one. So definitely agriculture is playing a greater role in the country. So looking at the literacy rates, the adult total, as reported by the UNESCO, 62% of adults in Nigeria were literate. Yeah, and then for the youth population, that is from 15 to 24 years old, 75% of the Nigerian youth were literate. So this is showing a higher literacy rate among younger people compared to adults, also reported by UNESCO. So definitely, there is need for us to see how we are going to at least integrate youth into the agricultural system so that we can easily promote digitization of the sector. So I'm looking at also the digital skill amongst the population that is based on 1 to 7 index ranking, with 1 be the poorest value and 7 be the highest value or excellent value. So in 2009, based on the World Economic Forum Index, Nigeria scored 3.42 on that scale. So quite sure is indicating a moderate level of digital skills proficiency, although the country is divided into like say the two sector. The southern part of the country dominates the information and communication technology sector, while the northern part dominates the agricultural sector. So the northern part have this they have the resources, and they also have the human capacity when it comes to the information technology application. While the northern part of the country have the natural resources, they have vast land, they have the population, and they also have the human capital that is in the cultivation of agriculture. So you see, it's just like if truly the government now is looking to see how they are going to at least bridge the gap, bringing the knowledge of the southern and the knowledge of the northern to see how they are going to improve their sector. Okay, so now also harnessing the potential to continue. Okay, so now looking at the total population, I would say that the total population of Nigeria is projected to be above 250 million. But if we can see the dependent classes and the independent, classes, that is the 0.0 to 14 years, and then the dependent class, and also independent class, that is the old age, about 60 years old. We can see them, and then the independent class, that is the working class, that are very active in contributing to the economic development of the country at large. You see that the youth, that is from 15 to 39 years old, contribute to the larger percentage of the population. So that is a large population, that percent of the population, okay, which we are going to see how we are going to harness the population of the youth here. Okay, and here is just showing us pie chart showing the overall GDP of the country, that is at the third quarter of 2018. Looking at agriculture, contribute to 22% of the total GDP of the country in the third quarter. And then the information and communication technology contribute to 10.1% of the sector. Yes, so now Sub-Saharan Africa's potential for digital agricultural transformation is bolstered by its youthful population. As we mentioned earlier, that almost 60 to 70% of the total population of Sub-Saharan Africa are youth. And then, yes, and this is a very good chance if truly we are going to see how we are going to increase our going of mobile penetration in the country. So definitely we are going to consider these active ages. We'll see how we are going to bolster their human capacity, their literacy in digitization, their literacy in the adoption of the technology in their agricultural processes, be it looking at the input market or looking at the output market. So, and then this variation presents opportunities for the exchange of knowledge, expertise, and lesson learned, definitely. Within, as I mentioned earlier before, that even the country is divided into like the digitization, the information technology, and then the agriculture is mainly the agriculture, mainly for the northerners, and the information technology is mainly for the southerners. So definitely there is need for a mutual collaboration to see how we are going to at least bolster this sector. So an inclusive and collaborative approach is crucial to ensure that no one is left behind in these transformation processes, so far as we aim to achieve the SDG 2, especially now that we're fast approaching the 2030 as our, yes, 2030. So now, this we are just looking at based on the information and communication technology, as we see here, it contributes to almost 8.5%. Okay, so okay, sorry, to 10.1%. Now, there are a lot of stakeholders that are into the country that joint hand with the federal government, while some are there, yes, to see how they are going to at least increase or develop the human capital in the country, especially when it comes to digitization and the application of that knowledge in the agricultural sector. So you see, we have the program like the ICT Life School by Paradigm Initiative, and partners whose focus on digital inclusion and youth development in underdeserved community. We also have, there are numerous NGOs active in Nigeria currently, offering farmer training through short courses and farmer field schools, with notable example including Sasaka Global 200. We have the TechnoSAF currently that is trying to see how it's going to implement that technology to shift, to make a transition from conventional farming into the regenerative agricultural practices. I also have the World Food Program that implemented its project on smallholder agricultural market support in the northern part of the country, capturing 4 assist in the northern part, that is the northwest and the northeast, divided into two axes, trying to at least see how it's going to identify the gaps and use digital technology to bridge those gaps. Also have the prep class, connect students and tutors via an online platform, while the school knowledge centers initiative equipped more than close to 396 public secondary schools with connectivity, computer and ICT training for teachers and students. Also have Tech for Deaf, a Microsoft Basic Digital Education Initiative. They also aim to train 500,000 young Nigeria in digital skills. We are currently now, they have partnered with ALS Nigeria to see how they are going to at least train a lot of people based on their choice of which digital skills they need to improve on. Also have the knowledge for development without borders. Also program provide basic ICT training to underprivileged youth, supported by the government, also to bridge the digital divide. Okay, so now we are going to look at some of the success stories that was implemented by the government, other relevant stakeholders, especially NGOs that are trying to see how they are going to improve the agricultural sector for achieving a sustainable food security in the country. So there are many agricultural smartphone apps on crop species, and we also have other digital platforms that looks into the weather condition, inventory levels, and innovative farming techniques and machinery. Also provide consultation services. So it was also projected that the availability of agri apps will rise by 15% in 2025, and we are seeing it quite sure that there are a lot of intervention now that are coming up in the country. So, for example, now we have services or a lot of digital application or platforms that are creating or providing the following services, that is providing consultation services, enhance access to farmland, leverage co-creation and knowledge sharing, that is connecting farmers to enhance the digital farmers and to enhance the capacity of digital farmers in the country. Also increase food availability, monitoring sensors in crops, marketing produce, estimating and mapping yields. Also have calculating area, mapping soil types, etc. So all of this application comes under the general category of this, that is agricultural management information. We have the agricultural information resources, we have the agricultural calculator, we have the agricultural services, and also have some that provide weather forecast services to farmers in the country. As we can see, all these ones, all the following services, these services that are at least providing ranging their services in the country, services that can only be accepted that are penetrable and also can be utilized by the literate aspect of the farmers, because those that are living in the far remote areas that doesn't have these much skills and knowledge in technology, they cannot be able to at least utilize fully the potential and the advantages of this platform or applications. So that is why in our recommendation, we are definitely going to see how we are going to close this gap. Okay, so now we are just giving some highlight of the application mobile-based preview that is currently working. A lot of farmers have benefited, and they are also benefiting with these applications or with these platforms. We have the NIS Agro, its user interface, that is the services that it provided. It provided services of soil information to farmers. It has a crop library, where in the next slide, we are going to see the interface of the application to see to select the crops that you want to at least explore and get necessary information about it. Also have the expert forum where we will get consultation and share some ideas. Also have some crop information that is specific to any region. Okay, and we also have and if you look at the crops, it covers all crops. We have the language and simplicity. It is user-friendly, and you can select your preferred language section based on that is the major language that are being spoken in the country. Its accessibility, internet enabled. So you see, without internet, you will not have access to this application or platform. Flexibility, the application is always available in App Store and Play Store. The region, it covers Sub-Saharan Africa. And then looking at the farm crowding, as we are speaking of now, farm crowding reported to have 427,331 users currently that are benefiting, and also is that are benefiting with the services of the farm crowding. And so far, they are reported to have more than 2,588 metric tons of commodity on ground. They have what is referred to as FC food and FC shops. That is the farm crowding food and the farm crowding shops. The farm crowding foods mainly focus on raw materials of the agricultural produce. That is, it looks at how it's going to bridge the gap between the input market and the output market. That is right from the production aspect of the marketing, providing necessary information for the farmers. And it also have what is referred to as the farm crowding shops. These farm crowding shops mainly focus on the already processed agricultural raw materials, already processed agricultural materials, trying to bridge the gap between the retailers and the suppliers. And they have what also data and market analysis tool where they provide the services. They provide service of price decision tools also for farmers and relevant stakeholders. They also have this service of GPS and weather data tracking, and the crops they cover is all crops. Is also accessibility, internet enabled, flexibility also available in App Store and Play Store. It also covers Sub-Saharan Africa. It's also available within the Sub-Saharan Africa. Seychelles is very powerful in Nigeria. Okay, now we have the Farm Group, which is an application that was at least developed by Indorama, the blended fertilizer company in the country. They provided services like the soil analysis, nutrient calculator. They have the market linkage. They have agronomist forum. They also provide a service of crop prices that is trying to at least link the farmers with the available market and uptakers. It is user-friendly and worked on two major languages, that is English language and Hausa language. So these are some of the gaps that are identified in this niche agro farm crowding and farm growth. So far as we want to at least the majority, that is the most of our like 70% of the population in Nigeria, we are reported to be smallholder farmers. So if really want to at least leverage this, we have to understand it at our local context, that is to look at the stage of our farmers, what is best for them to implement in this application that they can easily welcome it. So all of these ones we will cover during our recommendation. We'll see them. So, but this is one of the major one, that is the SMS-based feature. We have seen earlier, we said that it was very important that majority of the smallholder farmers that are living in the remote area doesn't have access to internet. They have very poor broadband coverage, mostly 2G in those areas. To some extent, some of the mobile services, mobile service providers are not located in those deep locations. Because I am a first yes, I'm a first audience. I have witnessed that because I have been to many remote locations. I definitely have to have all available SIM card for. So if you go to certain location, you have to switch to another network, switch to this network. And although even when it comes to just communication, it's very difficult to talk more of at least harnessing the internet potential. So definitely, if truly we want our farmers, this application to at least benefit our local farmers, so definitely you have to include this SMS-based feature, and that is based on the local language of the people in those locations. So this also the mobile application interface for the niche agro. You see, it has the soil scientists that can provide information on soil, the crop library. These are the crop library. You select the crops. Want to have some information about the crops, the varieties based on your location that you should plant, the soil type in those locations, and what have you. This is just what it provides there. It also has chat expert, where you can chat with expert to give you some recommendation based on the status quo of your field. So have this mobile application interface for farm group. That is the one that was developed by Indorama. See, you have to select the crops that you want to have, that you want to at least have some relevant information on it. Also, after getting the information, you see, it also links you to the available market and the current prices. So this is based on the smallholder agriculture market support project that was implemented by the World Food Program. Also, we are able to, as an implementing partner that is working with INDEP, we are able to at least harness this the power of this application. This is we with the people of Zamfara State, one of the largest market in West Africa, cereal market in West Africa, that is Kaswaldaji, in the Kauranamoda local government of Zamfara State. And it was quite impactful, and definitely we have seen positive results in providing access to market and the current prices, connecting to different markets in the country. So we also have some digital platforms, best preview. Now these digital platforms, they are quite impressive, and they are making a very impactful move in at least achieving the SDG2, and also the yes in this and the SDG2. Now looking at this platform, we have the Farm for Me. It's a very good initiative that they brought now. As as you are a farmer, you don't have the necessary you don't have the sorry, I cannot say if you are a farmer, definitely you should have that expert aspect. But if truly, even if you are a farmer, you need more consultation. If you are a government worker, or you are a worker that you have a farm, but you don't have the expertise to cultivate those farms, or even if you have the expertise but you don't have access to farmland, or even if you have the farmland but you don't have the time to manage that farm. So the Farm for Me is a very good place for you, where you can at least access their platform and apply. So they will provide all those services. Their major crops is maize, sorghum, soybean, and cowpea. Rice, yes, there's also rice. So you just select the crop that you want, and then the state that you want your farm to be located, mostly in the northern part of the country, and so they provide those services, and you pay them consultation services. That is why, as you see, they provide project consultation. They also have their expert forum, where a lot of farmers meet, at least exchange ideas based on co-creation and knowledge sharing. But they also provide market linkage. They also provide mechanization services. The language and simplicity is user-friendly, and they also operate in Hausa language, English language. Yes, also, yes, sorry, I didn't include Yoruba language. Also provide Yoruba, Igbo language, all of the major languages that are spoken in the country. The accessibility, it is easily accessible. And then flexibility, it is highly flexible. They have a contract where you can reach out to one of their marketing agents and 24/7, and they will respond to you, where they operate in sub-Saharan Africa and Nigeria. Okay, so we also have the National Agricultural Extension Research and Liaison Services. It is a public institution, one of the agricultural-related based institution in Nigeria, that it has its farmer helpline, where you can call them directly and inquire about specific management strategy, or even market linkages. So they provide crop practices, market prices. They give weather forecasts, because they have their website where you can also listen to past recorded programs that were broadcasted on the radio. Also user-friendly and accessible to any major language that is spoken in the country. Highly flexible, operate in Nigeria. So have DOFMA. DOFMA come with a very interesting and a fascinating approach in trying to provide a solution to achieving the SDG2, and at least securing food security in a sustainable way in the country. Especially they are in the southern part of the country, where cassava is one of the major crops grown there. So they provide free land lease of 100 acre. If you just apply, they give you a free land with the intention to promote the cassava production in the region. If you are far from those lands, they also provide a consultation service. So you pay for the consultations and management services. Then they take care of the land for you. Then they provide market linkage and day-to-day records. They also operate in most Yoruba, Igbo, and Hausa. That's some of the major languages that is speaking in the country. And so these are also some of the gaps identified. The land lease limitation Yes, you know, a lot of people now are applying essentially for the farm for me in the northern part of the country, and so they have this problem of land accessibility. Yes, also they have now mechanization services. They have farmer education outreach, also a major problem. So to make awareness of these platforms, they have limited consultation services so far. Okay, so now these are also trying to at least see the possibility of harnessing the SMS-based preview in digitizing the agricultural sector in the country. There is the bulk SMS Nigeria. We have the Gold SMS 247, the cutestart.com, X Wireless. Also, they all provide bulk SMS services where a lot of these application developers are trying to build this digital technology. They are utilizing this opportunity, these services to see how they are going to at least provide a flawless service to their users or to their clients. So, and we have this WeFarm SMS service is giving farmers the means to communicate with each other and share techniques and strategies for improving crops and adapting to climate change. So now I would like to play a video to see how WeFarm operate. It's very quite impressive, and I love the approach, especially for our farmers that are staying the far remote area doesn't have access to internet.
Joseph is a coffee farmer from a small village in Uganda. His farm is on a steep slope and is losing a lot of soil through erosion. He sends an SMS to WeFarm and asks how he can prevent this happening. His question is sent to all the members of the WeFarm coffee group around the world. Marcela.
Oh, sorry for that.
In Peru was having the same issue and came up with the innovative solution of digging soil traps and planting trees as windbreakers. She shares these ideas by SMS so that Joseph and other coffee farmers all around the globe can learn from her knowledge without even leaving their villages. Small-scale farmers across the world are experiencing the same challenges and often lack communication tools, making them extremely isolated. A farmer who has come up with an effective solution to a problem may tell a friend or a neighbor, but the information usually doesn't travel very far. Opportunities for small-scale farmers to share their wealth of knowledge with each other are few and far between. But if farmers can talk to each other directly across large distances and languages, innovative ideas and solutions travel quickly and enable people without internet access to gain the knowledge they need to improve their lives. Reliable internet access is still a huge challenge in rural Africa, Asia, and Latin America. In contrast, mobile phones is spreading like wildfire, creating a new generation of tech-savvy people who have bypassed the World Wide Web.
Okay, so this is just it. In the next slide, we are going to see how this SMS service, especially the one that is available by the WeFarm, operates. So you see, first, a farmer will send an SMS seeking information. Example, as we watch in the video, it's just trying to at least see what kind of strategy is going to use to safeguard some portion of his field. So if you send that information, the staff there or the agronomists will receive those information, and they also disseminate the information to the larger consortium of the farmers with that can to that consortium of the farmers. So they just are like adopting the approach of co-creation and knowledge sharing. You also have the data clerks. So this unit will keep track on the incoming and outgoing data as well as keep record. Also, they have the manager unit. This unit will monitor the overall services. So you see this SMS that is SMS-based platform is very, very important. So because it will reach to even the far remote locations that have poor internet access or even doesn't have internet access at all. So now another success story to showcase the power of digitization agriculture. This is one company in the northwest part of the country that harnessed the application of a GPS device when it comes to their providing their mechanization services to farmers. Majority of the services that were provided by other stakeholders in those locations mainly it doesn't follow like a more transparent that is a more transparent service fee payment, definitely, because it's just that they based on speculation. They look at your farm and then, okay, this is the size of your farm and this is the service fee that you are going to pay. But when this company comes into play, okay, they register and document most of the farmers there that require mechanization services and consultation. And so, and they use this GPS device. With the GPS device, they were able to at least demarcate the size of the farmer's field. And with just this technology that they applied, they become dominant in those locations, especially when it comes to the provider of mechanization services, because they enable a transparent service fee. Their service is based on hectare. So whatever they measured, so that's what you are going to pay. So that is, and this has made the farmers to at least appreciate the transparency and accountability of their approach in providing those services. Now, looking ahead, what is the country doing to at least harness the potential of the smallholder farmers and the digital penetration in the country? So the Nigerian government has implemented one digital agriculture they have digital agriculture implementation framework where they have the digital agriculture ecosystem, and this digital agriculture ecosystem has the service provider, the end users, that is now if you're talking of the farmers, and also have the partners, that is the other stakeholders like the NGOs, is private or maybe the public stakeholders that were able to contribute. This is the architecture of the world framework. The architecture consists of the security that provide, of course, definitely there must be security because we are dealing with data. So definitely there is a data privacy. So definitely there must be a security in the architecture, and you also have the business, and the business looks into the governance, the economy, environment, and the society, trying to at least provide an immediate solution to see how they are going to improve the sector. Is it through the government policy, through how we are going to develop the economy, how we are going to safeguard the environment, especially now that we are looking at how the conventional method of production is creating a lot of negative impact into our society. So what kind of approach are we going to follow to safeguard our environment? Also, what kind of approach are we going to look to at least provide a lot of employment and at least increase the profitability or the productivity and profitability of our farmers? That is looking at the society aspect. And then the interface, where there is in the interface, based on the design, you have the system interface, the user interface, the digital application, and also the digital services interface. And then for the platform, based on the architecture, there's the platform stage where it looks at the application hosting, the data management and analysis, the agro data, and then as a service, which is a very important aspect of the platform. And the interconnectivity, of course, connects the outside edge of the architecture with the interface platforms. That is skill connection between acquisition and platform layers. So, and then the acquisition is just the edge that connect the physical world with the architecture. That is, you're just trying to at least to receive data to connect with the digital agriculture ecosystem, see how they are going to at least gather necessary information and fit it using the interconnectivity to the rest of the platform to provide a sustainable business in the agricultural sector. And it's one of the it is a very good approach because it is looking how it's going to at least cover the whole of the pillars of the food security, right from the availability, the accessibility, the utilization, stability, the sustainability, and the agency. So that is why it looks at, it brought a lot of ministry that are responsible for providing sustainability for the project and also looking at the agency to see how they are going to safeguard the ecosystem at large. So we have the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, now known as Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, that provide policy direction for the agricultural sector, and also have the Federal Ministry of Communication, Innovation, Science, and Digital Economy that provide policy direction for the technology sector. I also have the National Information Technology Development Agency, where it regulates and coordinates the use of technology. Also have related federal public institution and state government in the country. Look, the special, like a public institution like the Institute for Agricultural Research, National Agricultural Extension Research, Liaison Services, even so, they also are leveraging the IITA, International Institute for Tropical Agriculture. Also, they also key stakeholders that are playing a vital role in promoting digitization in the agricultural sector and providing a sustainable economic system in the sector. We also have the agricultural ecosystem. Also, this is dealing mainly with at least the players across the value chain. Yes, the value chain there, and the farmers, of course, they are critical members of the ecosystem, and the Nigerian Agricultural Digital Connect, which represent the general interest of digital agricultural stakeholders at large. So this is what the country currently is, at least is moving to see how we're going to improve the food security in Nigeria by utilizing the power of digitization or ICT at large. So these are some of the pros and cons of mobile technology in the region so far. For the benefit, which you see so far as supported by a lot of stakeholders, the application of digitization in the agricultural sector, any information communication technology, improve agricultural production. Of course, through service providers, like consultation services, market information on the input market, and also job opportunities, especially looking majority for the youth, because most of the youth are concentrated in the output market of the sector. Also, farmers enjoy the latest trend in agriculture because it provides update information on prices and that is of prices, giving the past record to understand what type of the season is best to produce, also what type of season is best to store certain product, and what type of the season is best to at least bring this product to the market. Also, easy dissemination of information between extension agents and farmers. We also utilize the power of this one in implementing one of our projects where we connect extension agent with the smallholder farmers in the northwest part of the country. It also give easy access to information such as pest and disease report, weather condition and market prices, and for sharing and exchanging of ideas. Although up to now, I didn't come across any farm that is operating high precision application based on the use of our drones or robots to at least monitor the farms. But as time go, maybe I don't know. But as so far as I'm concerned, I didn't come across anyone in the northern part so far in the southern part of the country. So also, I give higher yield as input are optimized and constantly monitored, because most of those applications, they provide a specific and available improved germplasm that are very good for certain location based on the ago-ecological zone that that the farmers come from. But then the cons, you see, we have limited access to technology, of course, especially where the majority of the farmers are concentrated. They have poor network broadband there. And so there may also be a learning curve associated with using digital farming technology, and farmers may need to be trained to use them effectively, definitely. And we also high cost in developing some agri apps in the country. So here we come to the recommendation. So we are going to at least the recommendation that should be followed in order to achieve a complete transition, or in fact, a very good transition from the current agricultural perspective that we are, to see how we are going to at least implement the power of ICT in the agriculture to harness the opportunity right from the input market to close the output market. So you see, there is need to develop and expand infrastructure such as electricity and internet connectivity in the rural areas, because majority of the rural areas doesn't have a very good stability of electricity. Also, there's need for creating funding opportunities and increase investment in digital agriculture initiatives, because sometimes transitioning or even securing or acquiring this technology requires some, at least some spending. Definitely, there's need to establish public-private partnership to enhance funding for agricultural research and development, focusing on digital innovation, especially for the research institutions that are concentrated in the country. Also implement digital literacy programs targeting farmers, particularly women, youth, and rural population. Also reform regulatory frameworks to support the growth of agri-tech startups and provide incentives for investment. So develop national strategies that integrate ICT and agricultural policy for a cohesive approach to digitalization. Of course, the country now is moving toward achieving this one. So providing prioritize connection to undersea cables and develop national broadband backbones. Because most of the cables that provide broadband in the sub-Saharan Africa are on the sea. So definitely there is need for also a domestic connectivity where it's going to only link to these rural areas. So there is need to encourage the development of digital solutions that cover the entire agricultural value chain, not just concentrating on certain aspect of the value chain. There is need to increase collaboration among countries, international organizations, and private entities to create shared digital public goods. They need to design digital tools with the need of marginalized group in mind and provide targeted support to address their specific challenges. This last point, we also emphasize on it because as I mentioned earlier, that majority of the population of the country are smallholder farmers. And then also majority of the population of these smallholder farmers are concentrated in the rural areas. Some some are within the vicinity of the city that they have easy access to in the infrastructure that provide the electricity and even connectivity, while some are living far in the remote areas that they have poor broadband coverage, mostly operating on 2G network. So therefore, whatever tools are going to be developed should at least target and stop to target in order to at least address the immediate challenges of their specific problems. So here, say thank you for the time. Thank you for your time, and let's see. So far, so please, if you have any question, we have like 9 minutes to at least answer. So okay, so 5 minutes to see if there's any question regarding the presentation. Okay, so far there's no any question. So in that case, I think we are going to end the session. I'll say thank you very much for your time. We really appreciate, and we hope that you also will be a very good ambassador and stakeholder in promoting digitization in the agricultural sector. Okay, so thank you very much. See you soon. Okay, goodbye.